What's up, everybody? It's your boy. Just kidding. I couldn't resist. It's Us versus Movies. It's that little movie podcast that talks extensively, and some say too long, about a movie. This movie happens to be, Dustin, what's it called?
Come True,
Right on.
which is weird because I spent 4 hours and 2 minutes and 13 seconds of my life watching the Snyder Cut. Kevin, I don't. How did we end up on this movie? Shouldn't we be talking about a 5-year-old superhero movie?
What? Are you being serious? I'm never watching that.
Yeah, I know you're never.
Oh, okay. I was like, are you fucking with me? I thought we were watching talking about the Come
No,
True
we're talking
movie.
about the Come True. I just assume
Oh, okay.
everyone's gonna click this week and be like, "What the fuck? What the fuck is this shit?" We're gonna be like,
Come True. That's when I play pocket. When I play pocket pool for a little too long.
"Wow."
Huh? Huh?
No, we got it. Yeah,
Is this on? Unfortunately.
Unrated, but if it had a rating, I don't know, R-ish, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd say so. There's a dick shot.
Yeah. I mean, it's like a baby dick, so
Whoa, dude.
it's not
Come
very
on.
big.
Hey.
Man, it's CG.
Whoa.
They could have done better.
Hey, he had the testicular fortitude just to bear it all for his craft.
I don't know which guy we're talking about.
The dude that was banging the girl and he stood up, said, "Look at my flaccid dong."
I guess I was looking at his eyes. I didn't look at his
Well,
dog.
everyone's into what you're into, I guess.
Horror sci-fi. Hour 45 minutes. Released March 12th, 2021. So it probably had some weird, again, just like fucking Boss Level, where it released some film festival in 2020, and so it has this weird double date shit that I hate. When's the wide release? Okay, that's when the movie came out. I don't care if some fucking asshole saw it in a broom closet in 2020. That doesn't count.
Well, it's Canadian by nature, so I assume when it got the U.S. release, it did
What are
about
they-
30 G's.
They got a different calendar over there. They got a different year.
Well, there was like kind of distribution things they have to go through to have it play out here. Like someone's got to option it to come stateside sometimes.
Nah, come on. That's our hat. Okay, we don't ask the hat for permission. We take from the hat. We took
Canada's
hockey from them.
Oh,
We'll take more. Probably their land. I don't know.
Okay.
Anyway, who directed it, Kevin? And co-wrote it.
A lot of pressure here, but I'm going to go with Anthony Scott Burns.
Yeah, another 3-worded asshole or 3-named asshole.
Well, dude, Anthony Burns, he wants to stand out. He throws the middle name in there. It kind of helps him on the Google search.
Yeah, I hate that shit though. I'm just like, no,
What is he supposed to do?
just go by Tony Burns. Duh. Tony Buds, yeah, got a fucking movie for you. Tony Buds in the house.
That's a whole life commitment change he's got to make, but yeah, I'll give it to you.
He should make it, you know.
Stars Julia Sarah Stone. 3 names. You got beef with her too?
I do.
Wow. Did
Julie
a 3
Stone? Way better. Fucking Julie Stone here. You got some fucking grants coming against the Stone.
So
Like
she
her
has
name
this same
Sharon.
Canadian accent that the other guy has.
Oh,
But
yeah,
you're-
definitely. They're all from the same Canadian village. Province. Whatever.
That's Village is fine. I'm pretty sure all our friends to the north are just real.
They're like, that's it. I'm going to the future store. I'm going to get a cassette tape. I'm going to record this on the cassette tape, throw it out a window into the river.
The future store.
That's what Best Buys are up there.
We're learning a lot about what you know about the Great White North.
Oh, man, don't get me started on true crime up there. Whew. A lot of murders.
The show or
No, the genre of life. True crime. Anyway. Good luck with this next guy. Can't wait to
Landon?
see it. Yep, what's his last name?
So it looks like LeBaron.
Fucking French. That's what it is.
Could be French Canadian. Is there some
French.
sort of beef on the grill for that as well?
I mean, no, not really. Because I'm an American. But if I was Canadian, they'd be like, fuck you.
Okay.
I assume.
Okay.
Fuck you, eh?
I think everyone listening is just doing that right now, just towards the sound of our
They're
voices.
just like, talk about the movie. This is the first time I've really just been like, please talk about the movie.
Hey guys, tuned in to hear you talk about the movie. Tuned out because, everything else. He plays Jeremy. There's Tiffany as the older woman. There's Skylar as girl one. There's Marla as the intake nurse. Maybe my cast listing has gone astray.
No,
I do say there's a couple more characters I should have got top billing. Like, I don't know.
Hetherington.
Anita, the second, pretty much the main nurse to the program in the movie.
Yeah.
It's kind of like a hodgepodge of your favorite, probably local Canadian actors, just kind of getting their shine on this.
Same village.
The village system is a tried and true one, and they're all in this little independent movie that's basically about dreaming, sleeping, and what happens when you do it.
Well, that's our review. Tune in next week when we sum up another movie.
I really love the first half of this movie. Like, I think the jump off, I'm interested. I love the pacing, the cuts. And I was just interested in this. I thought the camera work was very conscious. Everything looked good, crisp. It has this little indie filter on there to kind of can't keep it all that bluish dark. I was like, is this deep blue? Are we doing the anime? And I liked it. And then it hits this point where it just hangs the fuck out. And it's chilling. And I'm like, hey man, you got somewhere to be movie? It's called the third act.
Not really. I mean, we said this is an hour 45. We're going to get there however we can.
The hour and 45 time turns into more of a threat. You're just like, okay.
I mean, they definitely got to a point where I was like, hold up, movie. How much more of you is there? And I was like, that's a lot of movies still from where we're at.
Yeah, and I felt...
I'm more of a second act lover of this movie. Overall, I will say this, just to get it out there. I didn't dislike this movie, Kevin. I actually thought it was okay. I thought it was okay. I had a good time watching it. Okay. Maybe I was just in the right mood. I don't know.
My rebuttal to that point is I wanted to like it more. And I was my expectations maybe a little high. I was I thought the trailer was very intriguing. And
it's a horror sci-fi, which is kind of like
you're knocking around. That's my sandbox.
It's just walking up and French kissing you. And if that's a disappointing French kiss, then you're not gonna please Kevin Beckham. That's for damn sure. But I really enjoyed the second act.
Really, that's where I began to chill it and took over a little too hard.
Yeah, no, I mean, I'm more of a second act. I mean, when we get to it, I'll tell you the exact moment where I was.
I'm very interested. Maybe I forgot about it. Maybe I slipped out and just missed it. But
it's the moment in which I went. When I started making jokes to myself, I was like, "Uh-oh, movie, we got a problem." So, but
I did the same thing. There was a couple of times where I was like, "I'll entertain myself in this scene."
Yeah, and that's not good.
I just chuckled to myself. I was like, I still got it.
Yeah, it's like what? But like, if people listen to this podcast, if I usually save the jokes for this show, attempted jokes. But when I'm just like looking at the dog, like, "Huh, dog? Huh? Was that funny? Laugh!" And the dog's like, "This movie, huh? What's happening?" So, but we start with the title coming into focus. It's very obvious. It takes a little too long, in my opinion. I was just like, yeah, just fucking blast it already. This ain't Aliens. Just do it, okay? I know you're getting this from Aliens.
You hear me, movie? You're not a fucking sci-fi masterpiece classic, Aliens, and how dare you make me wait for that fucking title? How dare you?
How fucking dare you? And then once that kicks in, we go through this, what turns out to be a dream sequence. I mean, you do and you don't know that. Like, if you're just like what the fuck's happening? It's just a
Hey,
bunch
man.
of
I thought the fantasy
visuals.
part was kicking in first. It's just this
Yeah.
slow, forward moving shot through these different, like, kind of cryptic, spooky landscape type things.
Yeah.
Very unsettling, if you will, nightmarish, I guess, at times. And a lot of long corridors and pathways, some could weird statues, odd body placement, odd
Yeah.
humanoids, corpses, possibly art. I don't know. You see a lot of that.
A very Roman Gothic appreciation
Mhm.
for art there, Kevin.
Yeah, I mean, hey, diverse as I. We're going down. It just keeps going and going, and it you kind of pull in this floating mountaintop island type of piece. They were moving in through. There's fog and the whole nine, right? It's just you want atmosphere. Let's go. It's here.
Yeah.
And then does it open on the door on this sequence? I can't recall.
Well, there's a couple of doors, yeah. So we get to the island and go through one door, and then some of the stuff you already described, and then I think you go through like a total of 3 different type of doors, and then the last door is this blackened shadow looking figure that's
Silhouettes
pretty, yeah, like his silhouette is just
of
it's
a
just
man,
this kind of like this
Scalaboosh,
muscular
Scalaboosh.
like mass of a man, and his back is turned to us, and we're just kind of go, and then you're starting to get uncomfortably close, and then boom, we pop out, and we meet
Sarah.
Sarah. That's what her name was. Yeah, her fucking middle name is her first name in this. That's my other problem.
Oh, come on, dude. She just auditioned for the part. She was like, I could be that Sarah. He's like, what's your government?
What's
Got
the movie
Sarah in it.
about? Can't resist.
Please leave them alone.
Hey, they could laugh at it. They're like, we've heard it all before.
And none of it's funny.
It's funny, but it still makes me laugh, so I don't care. But yeah, then she just wakes up. She's sleeping on a slide in a park out underneath the stars.
That's a pro runaway move if I ever saw one. If I saw a girl like that, I'm like, run away. Not homeless, run away.
Yeah, runaway. Classic runaway. And she's just like, holy shit, what the fuck? She's like, I gotta get up, because like that was intense.
She has to get up before the sun starts heating up that fucking slide.
Oh,
That thing's
for
gonna
sure.
turn into fucking the devil's asshole.
Yeah, that was definitely a fucking rug burn city right there. That's a pants only slide. That's what that was.
Sweatpants.
Yeah, sweatpants. So you can go real fast and not feel the burn.
And furious.
Yeah, and so she rolls up her shit. She gets on her bike and she
10 speed, classic choice.
bikes on over. She begins doing the classic runaway lookout. Like, I'm gonna break back into my own
All
house.
classic runaway moves.
All very classic runaway moves.
Gun to my head. I won't read the comic, but I'll mention Runaways, or watch the movie, or listen to the band, or choose the runaway lifestyle.
What about the TV show?
Ooh, was it good?
I mean, I didn't watch it. It
It's based on that
off the
comic?
comic book. Yeah.
There you go. You've answered your own question. I will not read that, or watch that, or participate.
I won't give that other 3 named motherfucker, any sort of Marvel money.
But if my future kids decide to run away, touche.
Showed me these perky little bastards. So she's just across the street on a bike. Her mom, not looking too hard for her, comes out, gets in her old Oldsmobile, drives away. Or was it a Cadillac?
It was a caddy, bro.
It was a caddy. It's an older caddy.
Well,
Drives away.
That's another point I'll bring up later that I wanted to like about the movie until they polluted it with their iPhones.
Yeah. And then she's off to the races. She's got to get in, shower, fucking get clothes, change. Definitely doesn't want to give any sort of, I don't know, evidence that she keeps returning home. You know?
Well, my whole thing was,
if my kids run away, I'm changing the lock. I'll be like, fuck you, break
she
it.
got in through the window. She did break in.
I'd lock that window every morning.
Well,
Just leave it willy-nilly. Oh, yeah, just keep fucking coming here and running up my water bill, leaving dirty laundry. Fuck that.
Well, the mom's whole thing is I feel like she wasn't really looking for it, but it felt like this is just her behavior. She's she's stormed off again. And whenever little Sarah's tantrums, mom's just being a mom. She'll come home. I know she's eating all the goddamn toast. And so, whatever.
All the toast and bananas, motherfucker, potassium. But yeah, Sarah, she gets ready, and then you're just like, oh, where is our runaway going to go next?
School, dummy.
High school. She got to get that education.
Yeah, she don't want to be homeless. She's not a stupid runaway.
I mean,
I did find that odd. I was just kind of like, well, she's book smart. She knows.
Yeah.
Are they going to be looking for her? So that's why I thought, I was just like, well, maybe it's just a beef with her mom. She just didn't want to deal with her for that night, and just she was over it. That's how I chalked it up when she went to school. Like, she's not pushing the cart too hard. She ain't trying to flunk out.
Yeah, she's like, I don't want to have to get my GED or the Canadian equivalent. No. I want to graduate with, a passing GPA.
I thought you were going to say honors or the Canadian equivalent. I mean, you really got to ease up. You wouldn't even know it was filmed in Canada if I didn't say something.
No, I could tell by the cityscape. It was way too obvious.
That's Canada if I ever seen it.
I was just like, fucking empty streets at night in a city. This is Canada.
Your dumb American eyes couldn't recognize a Canadian suburb.
Shit, I could recognize a Canadian license plate, dick. So,
yeah,
anyway, which they showed. Thank you very much. I wasn't like, oh, that's some part of America I don't know. No, I knew
they're far from home.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So she's at school. She seems to be having a hard time staying awake. This is like a theme with her. She's drinking a lot of coffee. I can't remember. No, it's not this part. There's some girls that are snickering behind her. And then she talks to her friend. Her friend's like, I got to talk to my dad. Because, my mom will just say whatever. But then my dad will come home and he'll be like, what the fuck? You can't be here. And she's like, so what are you going to do? And, what are you going to do for the night? And she's like, I'll just find some place to stay. And then she's back to the park, where just one more night at Parktown. And then, like, we kind of do this again. We go through, like, school. She, like, barely misses the mom at home. She's like, I got to get out of here, get my shit. And, I think she found the sleep clinic thing at this point.
Well, that was in the coffee shop. They're like, have trouble sleeping? Want to make a couple of bucks? Come on down.
Yeah. $12 an hour. I was like, that's outrageous. How do I sign up?
Dude, I was just like, man, please come to my town. I know a little guy that loves to sleep. It's me, everyone. The story is about me. I want to sleep and get paid.
Everyone does. I don't even know why. Why does that even have a flyer up? Why did only one other person take it? I think
because everyone thought it was probably bullshit. They were probably like, hey, got bad credit. I'll buy all your debt and then you'll have good credit.
They're like, that sounds impossible. One person does. And he's like, I don't know why more people don't take the offer. I'm just trying to help people get back to the community.
To sleep. And I was like, is this a political message? Are we all asleep? Are we all just robots doing what the man wants?
Well, yes. But
we're all just living on a spinning rock, paying bills, and then we die.
Pretty much, yeah. So I think at this point, then they go to the... she goes to the sleep clinic, if I'm not mistaken. She's like... Go check this out. I need a place to sleep for the night.
Yeah, they're all in the lobby and she meets the other participants. And we're still in the first act and I'm digging it. I like the pacing. That beginning, mom, school, it's quick. Yeah. It's quick. It's a lot of hard. And I was like, I like this. Okay, we're getting to this sleepy time now. I'm excited.
Yeah, so she does, some questions. She tries to ask some questions of her own. They're like, oh yeah, we really... I'm not gonna tell you all that, but yep, let's just get you in, get some answers on you, and then she's like, well, when will I hear back? And they're like, well, we'll let you know in like a couple days, and will you be available for the whole month? And she's just like, hell yeah, bed to sleep in for a whole month, and I don't have to deal with my mom's shit. Fuck yeah, I'll be back. One more night in the park. Falls asleep at school. Fucking tells the girls behind her to fuck off by doing the classic runaway move of middle finger under the armpit.
That's a runaway move? I thought you were like cut her with like a dog food can. That's like a classic runaway
No,
move,
that's
right?
that's a hardcore. That's like I'm never
That's a
going
level
home.
3 runaway.
Yeah, that's like a never going home runaway move.
You're
Like
using
people
a
stop looking for you or hoping for you at that point.
oh yeah, when you
You
have
know.
to use a dog food can as a weapon.
Oh yeah, no, for sure. No, she's still in the flipping people off under her armpit
Yeah.
move. So, and then she's ready for the sleep study. So she's gotta get in. She finds, and then when she officially meets everyone else, some old guys doing dad jokes about his wife and shit. He's just like, ha ha ha, fucking one the mate's away from the old lady, fuck yeah. And they're just like, shut up, sit down, never talk again in the movie. And he was just like, done. Two other people.
He's like, it's called an extra, sir. Can you stop really just taking me to task? Okay.
He's like, God damn, they gave me one line. I fucking ran with it, okay?
I got some asshole at some state that I'll never go to really breaking my balls with some cheap dive store podcast. I fucking hate my life.
He's just like, he gives up on acting. I'm like, thank God, sir.
Wow.
So Sarah, she meets the gang. It's mostly men. And so she's like, oh, this is crazy. And she's like, are there any other women? They're like, yeah, we have one other woman. And they're like, oh, okay, crazy. And they start getting them all hooked up to machines, and they put them in this fucking future suit.
Here we go. So we're at the institution. The Dr. Anita, or the helper to whatever. Lab assistant. I mean, I'm not here to judge or label. That's worker girl.
That's way worse than lab assistant.
She's prepping everyone, and they're wearing these almost sci-fi retro felt type suits, like made out of felt, like not you're feeling them. And I really liked it. It made it very unique, and it stood out, and it kind of created a lot of it kind of went into the atmosphere, and it just made it was just visually interesting. They had these, I don't know. At first I was like, is this some bullshit device hanging on the wall with some cords out of it? Like, and then they did some tight shots of it. And I was like, oh, cool. It's doing a little gimmick where it's reading, her vitals and everything. And I was like, oh, okay, that's cool. Because at first I was like, what is that? Like a speak and spell on the fucking wall? It sucks.
Yeah, and it's very like early years of digital, where it has like the weathered looking plastic with the big clickety clack buttons on everything. You're just like, oh,
and that's what I liked. I liked what they used as quote unquote their tech, their sci-fi. It felt like a used retro vibe to it, where it wasn't all shiny and wasn't coming from NASA or some shit. It was just like, man, it had a lot of character, and I appreciated that. And then you get these small like CCTVs that this guy is watching because they're going to monitor their sleep. And it's clearly a soundboard they're in front of, or at least a mixing board.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But the way and the time and the care they took to build these set pieces, I really appreciated, because they just had a great, unique look. One of the main directors of the whole program, the sleep program, I'm like, is this guy... Is this George Romero? Like, did you dig him up and like because he was rocking the frames. I think he had a vest at one point. And I was like, oh my God, is this what's happening?
Yeah, he had a very like kind of retro just like feel to him. Even in this world that was, he just even some of his clothes, like later on he showed up and just like the jacket like he was wearing, I was just like, God, that's so.
It was like a double-breasted smoking top.
Yeah, like it was. I'm talking about his like weird windbreaker turtleneck thing.
Oh yeah, that too. I remember that.
I was like, what the fuck is that? I was just like, all right,
the
man,
thing about the movie is Sarah's look is pretty. It's not too stylized. She's just like some random, indie girl, right? She can go on. She can fit in almost any time. Yeah. And I thought this institution could fit in any time. There was nothing that would date the movie. And that's what I really liked. I was like, could be filmed 20 years ago. This could come out today. Until they just pulled this heavy reliance on the fucking iPhones, and that kind of like bothered me because I was like, man, you had mom, she had an old car, Sarah's little 10 speed, like I felt like that was all purposely done to kind of have an overall tone and vibe to it. And when they just when it kind of had that switch, I was like, ah, fuck.
Yeah, but
I didn't like it. It took me out of it because it felt like from another time, but yet in a weird modern way. And I with the whole movie being what it was and how the steps it took, I was like, man, you guys could have really done without those cell phones. You could have thought of something a lot more innovative. Because even like their wannabe rotoscoping thing to see inside the dreams that we see,
yeah,
it
yeah, it was
the,
very.
the technology felt purposely a retro sci-fi vibe to kind of keep with the mystery and create that tension, right?
Well, I mean, okay, so my kind of counter to that then, Kevin, is really I feel like the cell phone wasn't on purpose. Because if you look, no one really uses the cell. Sarah does not use the cell phone like most kids. She's not like checking social media. She's not even looking at. She doesn't even use it for like a phone outside of like one time. It's mostly an alarm. Like it's an alarm and like a flashlight for her. Um, and I really think it ties into the ending, which I don't want to like jump to right here because I think we're
Yeah,
too
sure.
soon. But I feel like it is purposeful in that it's 100% what you're saying of like this. It's like this old and new, and they're really trying to bleed it together. And you know, debatable. I wouldn't say that they're 100% like perfect at doing that
Successful.
either.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I do think it's intentional, is what I'm saying.
I felt
So
it was too, and that's why I was so I was like, man, that's an admirable move. I really like Ty West. If you ever watch a lot of his movies, especially his early stuff, it's more of like, man, did this come out yesterday or did this come out like 30 years ago? I really love the way you consciously make your characters look, feel, and act with cars and vehicles and just these set pieces that are, I want to say, almost timeless with a touch of retro. And I really, really, really like that. And I thought that this movie was doing that same thing. And I was like, oh shit. And it kind of just, granted, it's my own fault to get more excited for what it has to kind of slowly reveal in this world. And I don't want to say it's lazy because it's their story, it's how they wanted to tell it. But I would have really been more excited if it was maybe a device from the Institute that could have revealed some of those things later. I would even have took a little flashlight, just something like that to kind of do those not even trope type things, but just kind of like a classic quote unquote horror type vibe. And you could have tweaked them with the sci-fi because from their sleep suits to just the instruments, it really kind of got me hooked. And it kind of deflated me a little bit when we just kind of were like, here's a goddamn iPhone. I was like, fuck this phone. But whatever, I guess.
yeah. Well, again, I'll build my case for it, I guess, or something.
That's no, it's totally fine. Your opinion's warranted as well. So just
Well, and so we start sleeping, and everyone gets set up, and they're in, and we go to Dr. Meyer, who is just like going through. He's like a fucking. I like this part because he's like a fucking conductor. He's like, boom, watch this shit. Here's where they're at in their sleep process. Here's where they're at in the next step, and the next step, and he's just like, and one of his students is just like, oh man, it's like perfectly in sync and shit. He's like, you haven't seen nothing. And he's just like, boom, they're in the fucking rim. And then I will say that Julia Sarah Stone does a good job of, making me believe that she's hitting rim because, man, those eyes were moving like just perfectly. Like, I don't know, it was just very well like sequenced where I didn't feel that it was like just some asshole laying there going, doo, 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 and then just moving their eyes around like a dick. So,
yeah.
And then we're in another like corridor type situation where it's just, and that's how we know that we're in a dream because it just constantly, the camera is constantly just pushing forward, pushing forward. It doesn't stop. And we're seeing, again, some like horrific things, but not really. It's not really like, oh God, I gotta look away. But it's just like, oh, here's like a torso with, or like a body with no head, or holes in the torso or something like that, or just at one point I think it was just bodies hanging from kind of like meat hook things, or just like a bunch of arms, and we're just going through and seeing that, and then boom, we get to the same silhouette of a guy, but we're in a different location. He's like on kind of like a floating pillar, I think, in a way.
Yeah, there's just like columns coming from the ceiling and the floor and stuff.
Yeah,
he's standing centered.
Yeah, and I liked that one because I almost expected that we were going to keep getting to that same room, and I really do like that first shot of the guy, or of like the silhouette, and you're just like, oh damn, that looks really good. And this one was probably my second favorite. I feel like some of the other ones after that aren't as strong, but these first two, where you're just like, okay, this is like very powerful imagery, and you're just like, who is that? Like, who is she dreaming about? Who is she getting to? Because the dream stops pushing forward when it reaches him or her, whatever. It's probably a dude, but it just keeps pushing until that point, and then it just stops, and it just stays there. So we've watched this very slow, methodical movement, and then just boom, just like frame that shit. And then she wakes up, and it's the next morning. They're doing their exit interview, and they're just like, "How you feeling?" And and meanwhile, like before that though, like they're in the room, they're just like, "Shit, is this it? Is it? Oh, what is this? This is good shit." And but then she's doing her exit interview. How'd you sleep? She's like, I feel really great. It was like really good night's sleep.
She's like, I slept so well, and I'm so confident that I have a Weekend at Bernie's poster hanging in my room. I was like, is this the best character ever written?
I know. I was just like, Weekend at Bernie's. Kevin's gonna love this.
5 out of 5. I hope she lives forever. You are now a cinematic icon. I was like, can we just focus around this Weekend at Bernie's, everyone? It's maybe you've heard of it. It's a fucking masterpiece.
Cinematic masterpiece. I mean, it's on the fucking VHS. It says it somewhere. I mean, there's
Weekend at Bernie's is probably, number one, the most cinematically important film man's ever created. Then probably Godfather 3. And then probably Freddy Got Fingered. We're talking the trifecta of classics.
What the fuck? Okay, all right. I mean,
oh yeah, okay. My opinion's got out the window now.
A little bit. I mean, more like off the rails and through a fucking village of people. But yeah, so she's just she's off to her life. We don't really touch base with her again. She's just back the next night.
Closure on her exit interview.
Yeah. It's just, she slept well. She's feeling good.
What did I sign up for? We can't tell you that. Is there any more people in the Oh, we can't tell you that. Do they plump when you cook them? Oh, we most definitely cannot tell you that.
She's like, I gotta find out.
She's like, we think they'll ever make a sequel to Weekend at Bernie's? And the doctors both look at each other.
Like, what?
And then they stay quiet. We're like, don't tell her. She doesn't need to know.
She doesn't need to know that.
She ain't ready.
She's not ready for that.
And then the director that looks like George Romero was like, they're either going to crucify us for this, or they're going to think we're the illest motherfuckers in history. Weekends at Bernie's Trace.
That would be great.
I'd be like, I'm so fucking in. I love you, Canada.
Yeah, but no, instead so we follow the lab students as they kind of compile the data and they bring it to him, and then Anita shows up, and then the other dude that we see a little bit of, but we don't get his name really. He shows up, and then the third guy in the Hawaiian shirt, he shows up, and he's like, "That good, huh?" And they're just like, "Fuck yeah, Doc. Fuck yeah." And we're on to night 2.
Yeah, they just hit the super lotto, but we're kind of like, what does that mean?
What is the super lotto? What's happening?
And how do I play to win?
And so Sarah's getting set up again. Anita's helping her out. And she's like, "Hey, where's my bunkmate?" And she's like, "Yeah, she's either running late or washed out. We don't know." And she's just like, "What do you mean you don't know?" And she's like, "Yeah, happens all the time. We just lose most of the people. We don't, We don't sweat the small stuff. Like, just get in your spacesuit and fucking pod up, motherfucker.
Get your spacesuit and dream about waking up Bernie. She's like, duh, I'm on it.
She's like, don't tell me how to fucking live, because that's the only way I live. Okay? Like,
where were you in 1989? In the fucking theater watching Weekend at Bernie's for the umpteenth time? Where the fuck were you? I was going to school.
Single-handedly got it a sequel.
Being a doctor, doing this lab shit.
Well, you haven't graduated yet, so get your shit in gear, okay? But yeah, so Sarah's this very like, okay, like, because that was the only other woman in the study, and now that woman's gone. So
now it's a sausage party.
It's a sausage party for sure. That old dude's still there, not giving any more lines of dialogue, but he's still there. And so they suit up for night 2, and then boom, we're in another dream sequence. And at this point, I was kind of like, all right, these are fucking kind of long. Like, move it along a little bit here.
Well, that was the thing. It's very like almost in a Silent Hill type fashion. There's two realities that we're working with, and it kind of raises the question, like, where are we at? Are we in her mind? Is this some Inception shit? Is this things have yet to happen? Has this already happened? Or is this just another world she's going into? Is this why she can't sleep?
Yeah.
So it's kind of raising more questions. It still stays a little bit interesting. Yeah, they do get kind of long. And there's also most these weird chapter introductions that kind of stop after the second act. I don't know if you noticed that, those little title cards that kind of came up.
And I just realized I skipped something before night 2. So
we can double back. But then I was kind of like, are we doing the title cards any? No? Okay, fuck it.
Yeah, I think there's like 4 title cards. That's it. And it's really random, and I was just kind of like, okay, whatever. Just I'll never remember this.
Yeah, I thought it was going to be broken to a chapter type gig, and it was just like, nah, bro.
We do this shit when we want to.
Mm-hmm.
We don't want to right now.
Mm-hmm.
We kind of ran out of clever things at the end. We really needed a 5th one.
So listen, guys, I'm not fucking around. I really enjoy Weekend at Bernie's. I don't know. I don't think I'm not making light of it. Shouts to this guy for throwing that poster.
I was just like, Kevin's going to love that fucking poster. I was like, he's totally going to bring it up.
I was like, whoa, Weekend is back. Oh, that's the sequel I'm writing, guys. You don't know it. It's The Weekend is back, and no one's going to know what the hell that means. But, the hardcores will.
And the corpse is still good.
Mm-hmm.
So, but no, I forgot, because then after her glorious night of sleep, she's like, I gotta hit the town. I gotta go to a bookstore. I gotta read some books. And some guy,
real meta on you.
Yeah, then they get real meta on you, because then some guy in a trench coat, very Blade Runner-y, is just like, that's a fucking good book. And I was just like, how do you even know what book she barely pulled that shit out, dude. Like, what the fuck?
Well, he has all the shelves memorized. He just lurks.
He's a fucking nerd.
He's probably one of those guys that just go in the bookstore library and just rearrange them in alphabetical, or someone put this out of place, it must go back.
The decimal system was invented for a fucking reason. What is this place? Is a goddamn it. Sir, this is not the library. He's just like, it is now.
Hey, Daniel Radcliffe, you want to get the fuck out of here?
Canada's version of Daniel Radcliffe. Could you just like potter the fuck out, man? And he's just like, oui.
He's not French Canadian.
He's French Canadian. He's French Canadian. He's now French Canadian. And the book is do androids
androids pop and lock
dream of electric sheep? Fuck, man.
Uncultured.
I was trying to fucking get it out, and
everyone knows. They were just like, I was listening to my car, and I wrecked because he's so
some
dumb.
fucking asshole was just ready to steal it from me, and he just was just like, and he heard me fumble for half a second, was just like, I'm gonna fucking rail this motherfucker. So
you cost us the big game.
No, I didn't. The game is fine, okay? And then he starts talking about Philip K. Dick and just kind of choking on the dick a little too hard.
Come on.
It was right there. Come on. It's right there. It's just easy pickings, Sometimes you got to do the easy pickings. If you always give them the stuff they don't expect, then you miss out.
I apologize, everyone, for the lowbrow.
Oh, whatever. But she's just like, whatever, man. I'm a runaway. I got no money for books, but she got money for movies, and she's gone with her one friend that we've been introduced one time, and they're at a horror movie.
You don't know what movie that was?
I really don't remember.
Night of the Living Dead.
Oh, wasn't Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, the first one.
Oh, okay. I just did not even process that because I was just like, who shows up in the middle of a movie? Like, I was so distracted by that. I was just like, dude, the movie's going. You're late. You're like way late. Like, what the fuck, man? And then there's Trenchcoat Guy. It's Jeremy. Spoiler. And she notices him because she's just like, hey, Trenchcoat Guy.
Oh, sorry. What? Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
What? Did you have a second doubts about the movie or something? Or what?
No.
Oh, that was Trenchcoat Guy? All right. Well, anyway. So the movie's over. They're exiting. She's talking to her friend. And then there comes Jeremy. She doesn't know his name yet. But she's just like, let's go a different way. I've been running into that guy all day. And her friend's just like, ooh, you like him? She's just like, no, he's creepy. He's following me. And you're just like, oh, maybe. And then Jeremy's like half listening. He's like, I'm not creepy. But he is because he's just standing at the crosswalk, not moving. And then boom, night 2 happens. No second female companion in the room. You go through the dream sequence again, and we see Jeremy. There he is, Trenchcoat Guy. He's there. And we just see him from the back of his head. But we know the back of his head now. And you're just like, that's him. He's back. Night 2, she wakes up from her nightmare a lot earlier. And then they're doing the exit interview. And they're showing her a bunch of pictures.
Oh, wait a minute. What did I say? I say Night of the Living Dead?
Yeah, I think so. But
I think I said Return. I'm sorry, Night. The original one, the black and white one.
Oh, you said Night of the Living Dead. You didn't say Return.
Okay, sorry. I spaced.
Jesus Christ, you're stressing out that much? People are just like, we're coming for your fucking horror
it just popped in my head. I'm sorry.
We're Weekend at Bernie's now. We're taking your fucking horror card, you motherfucker.
Wait, Weekend at Bernie's was not horrible.
No, I didn't. I said your horror card. I didn't say
Oh.
Come on, man. Get it together. This is why you're getting low-hanging fruit jokes tonight, okay? But so Sarah's getting a little just kind of perturbed by these pictures that she's being shown because they're like, what does that make you feel? What are you feeling? What do you think this is? And she's just like, I don't
bullshit.
know.
This is all bullshit. She's
like an arm, a potato. Definitely not my dad leaving me at the age of 12. And she's just like, no. I'm like, no. That's too deep, Sarah. She's like, all right, fucking, I don't know, a rock or something going through a window later on today at this building. If you don't fucking hurry up.
I mean, like, I liked her performance here. I thought she did a really good job of like making this a believable moment and reacting to the pictures. Like, try this at home. React to some shit that you know what I mean? That's a tough performance to just make believable. Make me go, oh, she okay?
Yeah. So they show the final picture, and it's the silhouette, and she does not respond well. She just starts fucking crying and breaking down, and they're like, just get wrecked. Or no, what the fuck?
Get wrecked?
Yeah, I don't know. That's what it sounded like. She yelled like, get wrecked. And I was just like, whoa, who's wrecked?
They started wailing on her.
She's just like, this isn't helping. They're like, I know, it makes me feel good though. I've been awake all night. So they get Riff, and it's Jeremy. And he shows up. God, fucking fuck off. And then he shows up, and then boom, it's revealed. The guy that was following her works for the institution. Bum, bum, bum.
What a creeper. Like,
yeah.
Like, just what? Like, I didn't understand the motivation here.
I didn't either.
I get it that she's the prize pig, and if she's making these leaps and bounds and really revealing a lot for their whole experiment, but I'm like, dude, like, why would you soil it by being a creepo?
Yeah, it's just, I didn't understand that part either. Or like why he engaged with her if he was just gonna creepily follow her. I was like, why make yourself known and then follow? But yeah. And so she's like, I'm out. Fuck this shit. Um, and then like, what, is she gonna come back? Who knows? And then the Dr. Meyer, he's like, hey, what the fuck? I'm going over the data you guys turned in, and what is this shit? Like, we're scientists. Why the fuck are you showing them the pictures? Like, that's not what we're here to do. And that's when he says the crucified line. They're either gonna like fucking praise us or crucify us. We gotta play line. Yeah, it was a good line. He's like, we gotta play it right. We gotta play it right. We gotta stick to the science, not the fucking drama or the thrill of it.
It's understandable. You're getting close to a goal. You're making some headway. The tide's turning. You're getting excited, making mistakes. It's sloppy. You're amateur hour, and it's human. It's fine. I get it.
Yeah. And then so then Sarah the next day she's kind of pissed. She's pissed at the creeper guy. So she shows up early and she's just like, "Hey, fucking nerd."
I laughed. I was like, Sarah, weekend at Bernie's, calling a nerd. Let's go.
she's like, hey, calls him how I sees him. All right.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, what did you watch what are you doing, huh? What is your shit? And he's just like, hey, I'm sorry I crossed the line. It won't happen again. Just don't quit the study because of me. And she's just like, you need to fucking tell me what you're doing. What is this? Because she's very concerned on why I think you're led to believe because the other woman dropped out and they don't really give a fuck what happened to her, but she's just like, what the fuck is going on?
Well, all the other patients, in all honesty, fall to the wayside of the story.
Yeah.
And that's kind of a slight gripe. I don't feel like the characters are moving the story along fast enough. And I feel like they're just hanging out until the next scene has to happen. You know what I mean? I don't feel like they're going forward enough. And I thought with her pushing back against the program that we were going to kind of like hit this hard stride. And she's like, hey, Poindexter, you need to show me what the F's going on. And he goes up there and they go in there. There's a Terminator original poster. I didn't pop as hard for that. I mean, Weekend at Bernie's climax movie. And then he's like, take a look at this. This is the technology. I'm going to put on like one of the preliminary ones. It's just, check out my cap.
Yeah.
She's like, what is this? He's like, check out this really poor fucking screen. And
he's like, you ever heard of the Oculus Rift? Well,
this isn't it either.
This isn't it either. It's like, wishes it was this, huh?
It's, what was it, taking like your mind's eye, or you can...
It's Daredevil, dude. It's just Daredevil. It's like, I can see the fucking rain around you, Kingpin. Like, that's, I don't know.
Like, yeah, Daredevil like the movie or Daredevil Netflix?
The movie.
Oh.
Can't resist. Well, I mean, it's just the same thing. It's like, it's a sensing.
It was not the same thing. The the Netflix was really good. No, the movie was okay.
Whatever, man. Anyway.
No, you can't whatever that. Have you watched both of them?
Yes, I have, Kevin. I have. Right.
You leave that attitude at the door, buddy, because that's not okay.
I was just trying to move on from that, okay? I just wanted to make myself laugh.
We did. They got canceled.
Anyway, so he shows her the technology, and he's just like, hey, watch this dude's dream, but you can't, like, watch all of it because it's pretty intense at the end. And so we just kind of see, a similar corridor thing where it's just going until we get to like another silhouette, and then he turns it off. And he's just like, there you go. You saw it. So I upheld my end of the bargain. And then someone comes in. He's like, we gotta get the fuck out of here. And he's just like, so you're going to do the study? She's like, see you later, nerd. Fucking spits on him and kicks him in the shin and just like runs away. Classic runaway move. And he's just like, I think I'm in love. So
yeah, he was really smitten more than ever.
Yeah, way more than ever. Just real intense, this guy. With the feels and stuff. And then she's in it and she's kind of like, like Julia Sarah Stone, I think does a tremendous job throughout this entire movie. It's like Kevin said, there's a lot of shit where you're just like, are you gonna like believe? Oh, I forgot the laundromat scene too. Fuck. it's all these little scenes where I'm just like, where did those fucking scenes fit in or whatever?
Yeah.
Um,
This one's actually kind of important.
yeah, no. So before she shows up and calls him a nerd, actually, she's doing her laundry, and just the rhythmic sound of the dryer
Been there.
puts her to sleep. Hey, man, if you're tired of the laundromat and you stare at a dryer, you're fucking
Game
gonzos, you
over.
know? Like, someone's stealing your shit. Don't have a kid with you. You don't anymore.
Oh,
like,
he's gone.
You're talking to the authorities and crying a lot and be like, what?
Or
This happened to me. I'm a bad parent. I fell asleep.
Or you're out just one kid and you got a
Or you're
lot
just
more
like,
free time.
You know, tax return's going to be a little light, but suddenly my free time looking pretty good. But yeah, so she fucking has this moment, and I like this moment a lot. I thought this was filmed really well and looked really good, where she just kind of is like twitching, bugging out, and I think it goes like red, I want to say, and it almost looks like someone's like shaking her fucking head, and I thought that was really cool. It was a really cool effect. And then just like boom, she just like falls asleep. And then this woman, who I could not stare in the eye because even though I don't know, it's cataracts or it's when you have the foggy eyes. That shit, I don't know why I can't look at it. It's not like I'm not trying to be cruel or anything. I'm being real here. I cannot look at it. It makes my eyes water just nonstop. I can't do it.
What a weirdo, am I right, everyone?
It is. It's weird, but so when I saw her eyes, I was like, oh fuck, oh I gotta look away. What the fuck? I was like, oh my eyes are watering. I gotta pause movie. What the hell? I was like, give some fucking warning. Come on, man.
Everyone's like, what is this dude's problem?
Yeah,
I mean, he told us.
Fucking those boys. I had to wake you up. They stole something from you. She was like, what the fuck? Oh, my phone is gone. I need that. I need my phone. So her phone's jacked, and that's when she's got to go talk to the nerd. So now we're at night, like 3 or whatever. And they're in it. She's kind of, she's on edge. She's making that clear. Like, even if you're not, like, I think Anita does a good job too, because you can kind of tell, like, the way she reacts is like she knows something's off with this girl. She's just like, you're not your usual runaway self, Sarah. But they go back under, and they're just like, we got Jeremy / Riff at the soundboard, and he's like mixing them all in.
It's on the ones and twos.
Yeah, he's just like, fucking this remix is gonna fucking be banging. Gonna fucking have all the kids moving at the club later.
Riff, you're a nerd. Stop.
Like, Riff, shut up, fucker. He's like, that's DJ Riff Raff to you.
Nah, we won't call you that at all, actually.
He's like, hey, well, I already copyrighted it. Got the website and everything. It just shows like a fucking dingo mixing some fucking DJ boards. Like, it's just that, though. That's nothing else. He doesn't have any tracks up yet because he's busy all the time. But then, like, so the four remaining people in the study, all their dreams sync up to where they're all seeing the silhouetted man now, but with like glowing white eyes. And you're just like, oh, that's crazy. And they're just like, we have got something here. They're all seeing the same fucking thing. But then two of them, is this the part, Kevin, where like two of them start to like kind of like look like they're gonna wake up? Because something happens to her. I know that something happens to her. She starts to convulse too much. I just don't remember. Are they still there for that, or does that happen after they leave?
So
I didn't know what happens after. Yeah, sorry.
Yeah, it happens after they leave, and then this is the part of the movie where I think it starts to lose a little bit of focus. I'm not really sure, like, what you want the main character to do. She's just still left with a lot of questions. I'm left with questions. I know it doesn't have to be super clear, but I need her to move past this. I feel like we're lingering a lot with the tunnel visions, with the convulsing, with the in and out, with these shadow men, these spooky boogities.
Yeah.
And I'm really waiting for the movie to kick it into overdrive, or just kind of like, let's just crush this tension and get it going.
Yeah.
And it says no.
It says no.
It says keep your seat lean the fuck back. We ain't landed anytime soon. I was like, well, okay.
Yeah, so Sarah, like, she wakes up, she's like pissed off and shit. She's just like, I'm fucking out, fuck your shit. And Anita comes in, she's like, hey, you're just having a nightmare. You're good. She's like, yeah, no shit, Anita. She's like, what did it look like? What had happened? Anita's like, Riff, were you accompanying a minor again? And so she's like, I'm fucking out. And Riff's like, I gotta go after her. We gotta fix this before Myers shows back up and, choose us a new fucking butthole. Cover for me. And then he bones out and he starts looking for her. Classic runaway move. She went back to the park. All right. He finds her. So, but in between that, when he's looking for her and everything, oh, no, she doesn't go back to the park. Well, kind of by the park. She's by the park, which is across the street from a disco. It's very
Wasn't she like at the pier or something at one time?
No, that was after the good night's sleep, after the bookstore and stuff. Just like looking out at the water. But anyway, so two of the patients, they open their eyes but are still asleep. And they're watching the screens and they're just like, hey, fucking go in there and sync them and stuff. And on the screens, they can see these like silhouette men in the room looking at these two guys. And
then you, as the viewer, pray to the movie gods, go, thank you, something's happening.
Yes, yeah. This part's interesting. Let's stay with it, but not too long. And they're like,
the movie guys are like, don't, just hold on to those prayers.
Yeah, just fucking, no, we're going to be here a little too long. Do a little too little, too much. It depends on how you look at it.
Another thing we got to mention is when Sarah, this is just a rewind, when Sarah is interviewed for the program, they're like, hey, do you got any weird sleep things you do? She's like, oh, I've been known to sleepwalk, but it's been a while. So don't hold me to that, everyone. But you as the viewer need to hold her to it.
Yeah, you need to hold her to that. And so I found this part kind of interesting because these guys are like, they're terrified. They're just sitting there asleep, but their eyes open, staring at the silhouetted men walking towards them. And then they, the lab assistant, he's in there. He's just like looking. He's like looking around. He doesn't see shit. He's just like, what the fuck? What the fuck? And then the silhouetted men touch both of the guy's feet. And then, boom, they just kind of sit up. They giggle. Your hands are cold. No, they sit up and they have like white eyes. And then we never
go to this again.
Understand what happened at all. Like, it's just, that's it. Like, they barely even finished the motion of sitting up before we're just fucking out. Watching Sarah lock up her bike. Going to a club that apparently the bouncer knows her and is very familiar with. She's like, is fucking Zoe there? The bouncer's like, go ahead, cut everyone in line. Mm-hmm. She's just like, fucking planned on it. Run away.
And at that point, I was like, well, every time Sarah has these fits, these night terrors, these daymares, whatever, the shadow men, they become more dominant. We're seeing the main silhouetted man. And I'm like, well, are they using her as a gateway? Yeah. She dreams about them more. It gets enough energy for them to show up. Did they take her phone? Is every time she has these moments, we see spooky, right?
Yeah.
So I'm like, well, are they one and the same? Is she one of them and she just doesn't know it? Is she channeling them? Is she whatever? Like,
yeah, there's a lot of good questions, and I like that. I liked that idea of like, which world's merging, what's the, is this some primal fear that they've like mistakenly unlocked? That's what I kind of thought of, like, this is trapped inside of each one of us, but when we use this technology, we can fucking see it. But by seeing it, we've opened, and that's why there's so many doors opening. Like, we're fucking opening we're opening these doors and we're not closing them. And this thing's gonna fucking come through them because we're gonna keep opening all these doors and it's gonna find its way,
And that's what I thought too when we're seeing this spooky, sinister, Silent Hill type world, and the main silhouetted man's waiting there, like he's just, hey, Sarah, I'm knocking on your door, and I want you to keep having these fits. You go in these in and out night terror things, and my boys, we just ride that wave through, and now we got all these other guys. we take these two guys out. We're using their power or whatever. We're closing those doors. We're opening those doors, whatever it may be. That's what I thought was happening, and apparently no.
No. Yeah. No, it's
something else completely.
Something else. Yeah. So we're in the club and
with a bottle of bub.
I wish, no, but no, she's just kind of pushing through all these other people. Like she owns a fucking place, looking for her friend. Starts to feel a little woozy. Maybe didn't eat dinner that night because she lost her phone.
Is that a rap name, Little Woozy?
Yeah, she's like Little Woozy coming up on stage to do a mix. She's just like, no,
who's
cut
her
it,
DJ?
not tonight. Huh?
Who's her DJ?
Zoe. That's what she's looking for.
Her DJ's Rough and Stuff or whatever you called him.
Oh, Riff Raff? Oh,
yeah.
no. DJ Riff Raff? Nah, he's not ready.
Fair enough.
So she cuts into the line for the bathroom. Like, does she own this club, Kevin? Like,
dude, she broke the women's code. All those women were waiting there to take their piss poo, and Zoe said, Sarah was like, "Let me get up in here and just do a junkie move and pass out."
Not just a junkie move, like a strung out junkie move where she fucking puked on everything. She's like, "Hey, listen, I know this toilet was already questionable, but just everywhere, fucking walls, the fucking couldn't tell the difference. Bathroom sanitary pad thing. She's just like, "Oh, I got some in there just to make it real confusing later."
Sanitary pads, not dirty tamps. Since we're in a disgusting bathroom, it's just it's a sanitary pad. It's a sanitary napkin.
I was trying to be professional with it.
Then and now I see.
Anyway, and then she just passes out. No other woman checks on this doorless bathroom to see why she's still on the floor.
I did like when Harry Potter came to pull her out. The girl next in line just went in. I was like, thank you for staying in character that you had to use the bathroom.
I still have to piss. This is a real functioning club. We don't know why we let you film in here.
I applauded that extra. I was like, you know what? You're going to be big.
And they were all pissed that he was cutting in line, not that she cut in line. She was like, hey, no bros before my fucking toes go in there and, tinkle.
What? I would have accepted no bros before I got a goes.
Damn it. It was right there in front of me. Fuck. Oh, well, it's
next time.
Super obvious ones that I miss, but yeah. But yeah, there's a Canadian Potter, and he's just like, wee, and he picks her up and takes her out of there. And then the bouncer guy's just like, hey, where are you taking Sarah? She totally owes like 10%. She made a mistake in this fucking club.
Are you kidnapping her? Should I call someone?
I can't leave the door though, because this club's banging.
Yeah.
Getting paid in roofies every night.
I don't need another 90-pound-year-old girl to sneak through.
Yeah. So
I'm on that Sarah shit right now.
Yeah. He's just like, oh well, Sarah, I'll see you, next time. And then for whatever reason, the movie at some point shows us where Zoe is. And I was like, I don't give a fuck, to be quite honest. I was like, I didn't need to see that she actually was here. Like, who gives a shit? Like, is she going to do anything? No? Okay. Fuck off, movie. And then we kind of bounced back to the institution. And now we're at his apartment. We're at Riff Raff's fucking apartment.
Real creepy. I'm like, dude, you're taking like one of your subjects home, or you're going to take advantage. Let's watch.
Let's find out. And I'm still on board on the movie at this point, Kevin.
The
club scene is confusing, and that's when my little make fun of this shit voice started to kick in. But I suppressed it until after.
Well, because Zoe's in the club and she's not wearing her Serrano PJs, and I was out, and I was like, listen, you wore them in the first scene.
You sleep with way too many stuffed animals for me to believe that you're in this club getting grinded on. Like, no.
Yeah.
Like, no. I'm not buying it. But she wakes up. I think she has another quick nightmare too. And I was just like, all right, cool fucking movie. I get it. Her dreams.
I'm proud of you, man. You the movie's betrayed me already. Like when she called him a Poindexter and he showed her how the magic's made. And then it just continued to hang out. And I was like, listen, if you get one more push, if I don't, nope, we're at a club now. Listen, I saw Fright Night. There's no club seat can top that club seat. All right.
No, that's true. Yeah, he was just dancing and bobbing in between. The Poindexter was on the phone. He was just like, "Listen, send the police. I know it's loud as fucking here. Can you hear me?
Vampire freaking over there.
I am not going to pay attention to the future Mrs. Darcy. Okay? God damn, did the vampire steal her again? Fucking hell." But yeah, so they're at his place. She wakes up. She's just like wearing this very anime eye patch. Like, it's very fucking anime.
I saw it. I was like, you are the big boss.
Yeah, no.
Steak.
I mean, yeah, it had Japan written all over it. They were like, I like this shit too. I almost want to say it was a little like tip of the hat to Another, which is a fantastic horror anime, by the way. And so she looks in the sink. Her eyes kind of fucked up. She's just like, oh, this ain't pretty. I'll put this back on. You know, she's like, this is rough. And
this was on for a reason.
Yeah, she's like, oh, now I know. You know, and hope you put one on my downstairs too. Like, what the hell, you know?
Huh?
Anyway, so then she goes. She finds him dreaming. He has some weird pillow throne taped to his wall. That part, I was like, why is that there? And he's strapped himself to the bed somehow, and he's hooked up to the dream machine. And then she's just like, let me see what fucking riffraff is dreaming about here. And that's what she watches his dreams. And
it's her, everyone. He's dreaming about her. What a weenie nerd. I was like, is this a walk to remember? Did Nicholas Sparks just jump in and do a rewrite? What's happening, movie? Get to the goddamn spooky boogeyman alternate world shit. If you put these two in a fucking committed, loving relationship, I will smash my head.
That song kicks in, Kevin, and I was like, what is up with this song? What is happening? That's what you thought?
You were like, where can I download this?
And then I was kind of like, okay, movie. I don't know what turn we just took.
You just made my work out.
And then when they turned out to be vampires and they were making out in his dream, I was just like, okay, movie. I'm still on board. It was weird, but kind of cool, Kevin, because of the weird shots in that stupid filter. I kind of really loved it. Because it was like hard to see, but you could tell. It was like, let me play with your imagination a little while you watch this. But they're both vampires.
Oh, you're a movie. Show me.
And then it kept going back and forth in their sunglasses and stuff. I just like that it wasn't like crystal clear imagery, but you could still tell what was going on. It had this weird like 80s movie vibe to it, or like music video vibe to it, where they were like,
oh, it did. And
transitioning back and forth in each other's faces. I liked that. I'm not gonna lie. I actually really fucking liked it. I'm not saying
video.
Yeah, it was a weird transition because I was like, what the fuck?
I'm okay. You know what, man? You've literally surprised me and all three of our listeners because they're probably like, there's no way Dustin's liking this shit.
Yeah, I actually, like I said in the beginning, I actually kind of enjoyed this movie, and I enjoyed this part. I don't know why, but I was just kind of like
boggled.
Okay. Yeah, I was just like, all right, yeah. And then the fucking silhouette man shows up, and he starts doing the same thing.
He's like, hey, how's everybody enjoying the movie? I'm the silhouette man. I won't do
you
much.
You fucking forgot about me? You forgot about me? I don't think so. Yeah. He's like, I'm not gonna do much. I just like to tickle toes. That's really. I'm just like,
and I like to turn and stare over my shoulder. Maybe my left, maybe my right. Depends what mood I'm in. I'm the silhouette man. I'll see you guys never.
Never really see me ever again. I mean, you'll see me plenty, but you'll never understand me. I'm like a relationship.
You're just like my mom's.
Yeah, it's just like my mom's. But yeah, so then he's starting to do the thing where he's asleep, but he's seen the man, and she's just like, what the fuck? She's looking for him. She's like, come on, I got one eye. I should be able to see ghosts. I saw that movie too.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah, and nope. So she's got to wake him the fuck up, and she just does that by like doing a cuddle hug on him.
Yeah, that's what I do to wake people up.
Yeah. She's just like, cuddle hug, and he's just like, oh, that pulled me out. I felt the warmth and love of your body. Also, I'm a nerd. I got a raging boner because you touched me.
Yeah.
So he's like, and I'm strapped in. Let's go.
Strapped in, strapped on. Let's go.
And then boom, boogity woogity is out. You know, and they're just like, hey, let's go get some food at a diner.
And he turns down that coffee refill. I'm like, you're a prick. You better tip her.
They both did. I was like, what the fuck, guys?
I've never been so upset.
I was like, I would never sleep again if I just dreamed that. You know, that
this
part.
Coming from the girl that drinks 6 cups of coffee a day, and now she's turning it down.
Now she's like, nah, I've seen too many silhouette men to ever drink again. I mean, other than this one that I'm drinking. But like,
just highly disappointed in that. She was given top quality service.
And he's still staring at her like the creepiest motherfucker. Like he's never seen a woman before. He's like, girl, you are girl. Raging boner. Feel me. Yeah, he's just he's about to do some like beatnik poetry shit.
I love you, girl.
Starts playing the bongos.
The waitress is like, you suck.
She's like, get the fuck out of here, riffraff. I'm fucking tired of you, man. Fucking every night, this guy.
Like the rapper or that guy?
That guy.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, I'll be right back. She just like laughs it off, like, he's staring at me. Takes the eye patch off, her eyes fixed. It's all good. It's good. This eye patch is a miracle worker. I was like, put it on everything, you know? But
like her downstairs.
Like her
whatever
downstairs. Yeah. She's I gotta prep it for landing.
For what? For landing. This has been Sexual Education with Dustin.
Anyway, so they're just they're driving back, and she like brings up his dream, and then he's just like, I am gonna stay way too long at this stoplight, okay? And this is where the movie lost me, Kevin.
And the Shadow Man's behind him. He's like, hey, they ain't get any fucking greener.
I know. I was just like, do you want to like pull over or something?
The main characters drive away. The Shadow Man leans out the window. Hey, it's me again, everyone. I know you've missed me.
I know you're wondering what the hell happened to this movie, but don't worry.
It just turned into a teen romance when I thought we were dealing with some sort of boogeyman.
Yeah. And so they have this conversation, and the only thing you need to know from this conversation is that she turns to him and says, I'm 18. And at that point, I was like, okay, movie.
What's the problem?
I was like, if you're about to do what I think you're about to do, you might have just lost me.
I feel like making love.
Yeah, I was just like, what the most awkward fucking thing.
Creeper nerd love.
Yeah, because he's just like
thrusting and thrusting.
I gotta get you back now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and his no romance here. He will not stop creepily staring at her while it's happening. I was like, easy, Ted Bundy. What the fuck?
If she falls asleep, bro, don't take that as an insult, man. That just means you got to step your game up.
But no, he should definitely take that as an insult. Okay, like what the fuck? And he had a couple more pumps in him before he was just like, hey, can we get a little? Hey, are you asleep?
What does that mean, dude? Hey. Like, are you writing
the hey is him slapping her face a little? Hey, wake up.
No one knows. And it was like, hey, this isn't a video podcast, dude. We don't know what hey means.
I mean, you could just interpret it as him being like, watching her fall asleep and be like, hey, don't sleep.
Because I'm coming for your butthole next.
Yeah, he's like, hey. So, you know, there's a lot of romance. And then,
That's what you call romance.
No, and so then the movie takes another turn.
She passes out, and he keeps pumping.
He keeps pumping. He's
just
like,
I was like, that's not okay.
Yeah, that's not okay, creeper guy. Like you're fucking winning that creeper badge for the Boy Scouts, like right now.
Boy Scouts like, we never had that.
Hey, how do you know about that? Fucking, I told you that's a secret badge. And so she's not responsive because the romance is dead. And And so he calls an ambulance, and they get rushed off to the hospital. She's
What he should have done, if you drag her into the street and then you call the ambulance, you don't have to pay.
no, he wanted. Oh, you mean like for the ride? It's just
Yeah.
like, hey, I found this runaway.
Not the comic.
Real pro runaway here. She's in the street. Typical runaway.
Guy seems to know a lot about the Runaways. He must be a fan.
Anything called Runaway. The other movie called Runaway. The band. A band covering the band. Also called Runaway. Just real runaway here everywhere. Yeah, so then they're off on the ambulance ride. They're asking him questions. He's like, I don't know her that well. I was like, really? Because you fucking stalk her pretty hard, dude.
I got a rake hit saying otherwise, Johnny. Take a seat. I'm going to call the authorities.
Yeah, I was like, where are the authorities? You just brought in a young girl, and you were, look at those sweatpants. He clearly was just banging, okay? Look at those sweatpants. Look at them. So, and he's pacing around, and then he goes in, and he's just like sitting by her bed for a while. Because, visiting hours are not a thing. And then she just, like, disappears. And he has, like, this full-on panic. And he's like, where the fuck did she go? He checks the second floor. No one's on the second floor. He's just like, what the fuck? And I was just kind of like, movie, what are you doing here?
Mm-hmm.
This hospital scene does not need to exist or be this long. Like, period. When you gave me her backstory of, like, runaway kid sleeping in the park, it was so much faster and better than what I'm seeing right now.
It felt like it's two different directors, or it just like the story felt.
Or they were cutting too sharp in the beginning and realized like they had room to breathe. And
we gotta pad this out, guys.
Let's have them stop at this stoplight for like 25 fucking minutes of real time footage, and talk about how she's 18, and he'll just be like, and then we can go back to their bedroom. So, and I was like, if you just had like a near-death like Silhouette Man experience, Kevin, would you be like, yeah, I'm ready to fuck? Yeah, creepy guy that's been following me. I saw him dream of me as a vampire, and that really got me hard, or wet, or both.
Oh,
yeah, I don't know what she's cooking with down there.
We gotta really stop having you say down there, downstairs. Like it's just. Not good.
Yonder? You want to say yonder?
Just kind of. Yeah, maybe just don't break it up, actually.
No, I think I will. I think the audience likes it. Anyway. So he goes down to the first floor. Security shows up. He starts acting like a creeper would if security showed up. And you're like, what the fuck? And she's like, hey, I can't get a hold of anyone on the second floor. All of a sudden, everyone on the second floor is gone. Staffing shortages, what we're told or whatever. So then he looks at the security cameras. He spots her in the parking lot. He's like, I'm out. Got to go find her. She's walking very meticulously and slow.
She's sleepwalking, Dustin.
She's sleepwalking, I know. Yes, that's where I was getting to it.
Nope. Get right to it.
And he's following her. He calls Anita. She's like, where the fuck are you? And he's just like, I need your help. Give me some shit. And you're just like, oh, I bet he's going to get the dream shit. Yeah.
Well, he goes to call Anita, and they pick up. And he's like, is Anita there? And she's like, Anita who? He's like, I need a man to hug and kiss. And Anita goes, oh, let me find out.
I'll be right there.
Hey guys, I'm looking for I need a man. I need a man to hug and kiss. And then I laugh.
I'll hug you, Mo.
And I laugh. And I pray for the sweet release of the finale.
Yeah. Which is nowhere in sight because we still have like 20 minutes of this fucking film, unfortunately, at this point. Because this is. And then we watch Anita walk over every set piece we've ever been to.
Gathering just every item that's ever been on film.
Sorry. Yeah. Sarah. And then Anita finally shows up when they're on some bridge. They hook up the device. They put on some fucking slippers on her poor damn feet that have just walked across half the county. And they're just following her. And he's just like, wait till she gets to the end of the nightmare. And then we'll wake her up. And Anita's like, that sounds like some dumb shit.
And I'm like, dig, Anita wins.
Yeah, I was like, you sure you don't want me to just like bump her with my car and see what happens or whatever? So
Yeah, where was Anita? I think we needed a little bit more of her sensibility and her bullshit calling out.
yeah, I don't know.
Here's the thing. I think you just probably fast forward this part
Oh no, I was
because
done. I was just gonna get to the end. They go to the woods, you know,
yeah.
and they're walking down this forest, and on the screen we see that there are silhouette men like everywhere, just like everywhere, and you're just like, oh, cool. We're back to the cool part. Like, grab them or whatever. And they just walk and they walk and they get to the, it's starting to look like the beginning again where we're getting to this like island thing. And you're like, oh shit, we're to the final boss. We're there.
Mm-hmm.
And
we're ending at the beginning, right? When they introduce the floating island mountaintop thing and the big doors. I thought she was going to show up to something like, even if she opened up a floating door and it like, maybe it didn't show up in front of her, but it showed up on the screen. Yeah, and this gust of blackness maybe came out of nowhere, and then eyes started popping up in this black fog. I'd been like, oh, here we go. And then maybe you see like a towering, like the silhouette man is actually like 10 feet tall, and he just kind of appears. His eyes are just clearly higher. You don't have to do a lot. I don't need to really physically see it, but just in the darkness.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do any of that.
It does not do any of that at all. I do think we skip some part where she does see the silhouette man and he's like very beautiful in her face. And I was like, oh, okay, whatever. But yeah, so then we hear her stupid ringtone go off. And so he starts looking for the phone because he's like, why is there a fucking phone over here, He picks up the phone and like that shoots Sarah out of it. Like she's just like, ah! And he's just like, hey. And he comes out and she remembers he's a creeper. And she's like, why do you have my phone? And he's just like, I just totally found that. I
just got here.
On you. Yeah, he's like, whoa. Let's take a step back and everyone get our story straight, okay? Okay? I just found it. Anita's my witness, And so they're just kind of, she's like, that's my phone. It was stolen. What the fuck, And you're just like, okay. All right. What's this phone doing?
Before you get to here, when Anita showed up, I wanted the relationship between Anita and the Riff guy to kind of be more foreboding in a way, or they had more
history, maybe?
More history that was shown of like, I can't believe you're falling for this girl. We've done this a million times. This is the closest we've ever gotten to success, and you're in love with that from her, not so much her. And I was there with you in the Drudges, and we came up through this shit, and I was shoulder to shoulder. I was like your fucking right hand man. This is how you treat me, and you just pine over her now. And I kind of wanted something like that from her. If that was like a B or C story going on, I think that would have helped clear up a lot of the pacing issues the second act and the beginning of the third act just hit and don't get out of. And maybe even if it took the Riff guy convincing Anita, like, no, this is it. The things we can see together. Like, you need to be there to witness it. Like, he wants to bring her along for the ride. But it just turned into Sarah's. It's not even really Sarah's story and his story. It just turns into they're doing things. Like, I never felt like Sarah's searching for answers, I guess. And that's why she keeps turning to this guy to get that closure from these dreams.
Yeah.
But I just don't really know what the stakes are. Like, if she doesn't get the answers, do the boogeymen come and destroy her? Or is she just a vessel? Like, I don't. And I guess the movie can be up to interpretation, a lot of it. But I just don't really see.
I got an interpretation.
Okay, go ahead. I'll let you continue.
Oh, okay. Well, I was just throwing that out there while you continued, but okay. But so they're like walking back, and the silhouette men start to bleed through, and their eyes are starting to come through, like in the woods, and Sarah's just like, run. And I was like, game fucking on. Yeah, let's do this shit. And so they're running, and then like the darkness keeps getting more and more and more. And then suddenly just fucking Anita's just snatched. And you're like, all right, Anita's gone. Fucking dunzo. Like, keep going. Let's see if these two make it out. And then boom, 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 and then fucking Jeremy gone. He's just gone. Dunzo. Darkness got him. And then at this point, fucking Sarah stops and she's just like, well, what's the point of running anymore? And then you see kind of like the same thing over like 3 times, I think, where she's just like staring at something and like the darkness just engulfs everything. And you're like, okay, like kind of cool. Second time, like show me something different, maybe not just woods again. And then like the darkness just takes her all the way. And then she comes out and she is just fucking thumbing Jeremy in the eyes, like just while riding him. They're apparently still having sex.
Okay, before you dive into the last part, I want to hold on this. I was very torn on the scene where the 3 characters are running away. I liked the visual kind of setup for it, where the light is clearly a hard line light, the way they block the scene for the lighting to kind of keep the shadows behind them. Mm-hmm. And I thought that was kind of cool. I was kind of disappointed, though, when they were snatched into the darkness. I think they could have really made that a bit more powerful moment.
Yeah, like a fucking wire jerk thing.
A wire jerk, or even if it was slow motion, her slowly dropping the gear and Sarah maybe even turning back, and then you get to see her just engulfed. And same with him, they could have done like he trips and falls, and it's almost like the darkness is like an entity or a thing, and then he just comes to it, puts his hands up, and then she slowly is running, and then it slowly turns into a jog, and then she stops, looks around, the light perspective would change, you see the eyes, and I was waiting for like the silhouette, man, his hand just to come on the shoulder, like, we're here, thanks for bringing us, bro. You know what I mean? And then she just kind of
the part where she sees his face, because she goes into all darkness, and you just see his face.
Yeah, and I thought
I just realized whose face it was. But.
You would get like something like that, and I thought it was because it built up. Like
you're just like, this is the bleed through. It's bleeding through. Cool, we're gonna get something here.
Yeah, this is like your whole like kind of crescendo, and I just was like, fuck. And then you go back to them. I guess they're porking, and they're sitting there.
Yeah.
And the thumbs both of his eyes, and I was like, all right. So that
killed
never
him,
happened,
I guess. Yeah, it's never. Yeah, that's the thing. Is like, okay, so then it didn't happen, and then she just kind of.
Did your '80s video ever take place? Is she in her own mind? Was she inside his mind? Like, was it with the machine? You know what I mean? I don't.
Yeah, and I do like the shot where she's naked, half covered in blood. I thought it looked cool. I do.
Yeah. I mean, in all honesty, her performance, she's good. She's good for what the story does. I could see her doing more and being kind of pushed to that upper echelon of performances with whatever subject matter. I think she did a very good job emoting, kind of carrying scenes, doing things that you were like, that's kind of hard. How is she going to react to that? I thought she was very good.
Yeah. And then, so she takes her phone and goes into... No, she doesn't go take her phone. She goes into the bathroom. Her phone buzzes. She reads the message. She puts it down. She looks in the mirror and starts to kind of like cry without tears, I guess is the only way to describe it, where she's kind of,
the story of my life.
Yeah. She's doing the weeping, but no tears are coming out. And she opens her mouth, and she's got the vampire teeth, and it's a bad match because it didn't match the color of her real teeth, and that really bothered me.
It was
fine, but then
they look like more pronounced canines. They weren't like comical vampire teeth.
They were
I didn't think so. I thought they were.
So. And then we go over to the message on the phone, and it says, "If you're reading this, you've been in a coma for 20 years. We're trying a new technique. If you can read this, wake up." And then the movie's just like, I'm out. Figure it out.
Dare you.
I dare you. So, do you want to do your interpretation first? Or you want to hear my interpretation that blends your 80s and cell phone thing?
I thought it was possibly we were just in those memories of her. And when it goes in and out, I was hoping maybe she was the spooky man over time in this weird alternate thing that like that's the message they were reaching out to her. You know what I mean? It was like the shadows, the darkness, the spooky halls.
Yeah.
And she's still kind of just navigating in this world, which is in her mind. And that's all these characters are trying to help her. And that's why she can't sleep. She's questing to get back or wake up out of this coma, and hence the running away and the sleeping. And you know what I mean? So like it was all representing her state of the said coma. And she had just remembers like flickers of it, right? So like the institution, maybe it's not for sleep, maybe it's trying to treat her coma, stuff like that. Maybe that's why the hospital had no. I didn't really know after that because I really wasn't clear what the movie wanted me to think. I don't know. Hopefully you had something that was a lot more solid.
Okay, so I think she definitely. The reason everything else is older, okay, is because that's when she last had memories. Is the 80s. All right, that's why there's Weekend at Bernie's. That's why there's Terminator. That's why there's old cars. You know, everyone had an old car, and it's not like someone else had some dope ass new car or whatever. There's all this analog shit. The cell phone. The reason no one ever really uses a cell phone, like there's only 2 instances when the cell phone's used, and that's when he uses it, and that's when she uses it. But they don't really. They never make phone calls, nothing. Like, one time, yeah, he makes the phone call to Anita. But, like, that's it. That's the only phone call in there. And I think that's the programming of what they're trying new. That's, like, the one thing they're, like, phasing in.
Like, they're trying to introduce that into her world.
Yeah, because then they're like, okay, if we give you this, if we kind of break into your 80s world, this cell phone, we can give you more information, like the thing at the end.
Yeah.
You know? And that's what they're trying to do. Is
but why was she so
look.
familiar with it, though? Like, when
she doesn't do anything with it.
Well, I get it. She's not like on Instagram and shit, but like
all it did is buzz her. That's it. An alarm went off, and it would wake her up.
Well, like, I would have
preferred. It ever did for her.
So I would have preferred that item to be something that wouldn't be foreign to her. If that's like your theory, which it's a very good one. Sound. I would have liked like in Silent Hill, right? He has the radio that kind of lets him know things are changing or creatures are near, and it acts like a siren. And that's what I felt like the phone was doing, where it was acting like these beacons of these plot moving, if you want to say, moments. And I just wish maybe if it was something else or something that was close to her, so she would have guarded it more with her life. You know what I mean? Like, I just didn't feel like there was a lot of care given to that item to give it such poignancy in the story, you know?
Yeah, well, and I also think it's to distract people too, because then you don't pick up on the fact that
I can see
everything else is really old. You know, you see a cell phone, you go, "Oh, we're in the modern era." No one looks at that bike and goes, "That's one of the most popular models in the '80s." You know, no one looks at the car and goes, "That's a really well kept car from the '80s." They just think that they're like, "It's a well kept car."
I totally agree. I like that. That makes sense to me. I don't want to say it's lazy because, like I said, that's their story and how they wanted to tell it with those items. If you wanted to make it like, I don't know. I really would have preferred it to be something else. But if that's what it's supposed to symbolize, the 20 years later, then okay, then yeah, I like your idea. And I think that makes a lot of sense. And I think, yeah, of course, if the characters question it, you're going to be like watching at home going, what the fuck? You don't know what the fucking iPhone is. It literally rules our world.
Yeah.
But they didn't seem centralized on that stuff. I mean, what kind of girl goes to a bookstore, you know, or a library? What are you, a nerd? You're supposed to go to a discotheque. She's like, I did.
She's like, I did that already.
Yeah, I don't know what cool kids do. I'm sorry.
It's a classic runaway move, Kevin. And she was trying to show that she's like the outsider cool girl too, like, which is also again very 80s. Yeah. Oh, I don't do what the normal girls do. I go to bookstores and I read shit. You know, I read sci-fi. I read Philip K. Dick, and that go get some nerd dick.
Yeah,
and then that nerd dick is very disappointing.
So, okay, that's
He's just like, all right, come on, guys, you're kind of railing me a lot on this shit.
Oh, I
Okay.
get it, railing. Oh, it just doesn't stop with this guy.
Come on. All right. My
Yeah, yeah,
other
I'll
part of
take that.
this is I think the silhouette men, and I could be completely wrong on this,
Are they
but
the future?
especially when they kept coming. So I think everyone was having a shared. I think all those people are in a coma, and that's
Mm-hmm.
why they all kept having the same like thing, and they're
Mm-hmm.
all in the same like kind of like program to snap them out of it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so when they kept coming over to the bed, because that is something they do when a coma patient's there, they touch their foot.
Mm-hmm.
And I think those were actually doctors.
Okay, I can see that.
So at least that's my, just random get, because that's what it made me think of like all the stuff I know about, like, oh, they go over and they pinch the foot because that's when they can, if they move the foot, then it shows like someone's home kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's what that made me think of, was like, oh, okay, like why are they going for the feet, And it might have been that there was it was actually, we're watching the reverse. We're watching them sink into the reality they've created for these characters to try to pull them out of it. But they're also like kind of watching back as like this weird side effect or whatever. So
Yeah. Hey, Anthony, what's up, dude? Is this right?
he's just like, I'm not going to fucking answer. I heard you say a boot, you know?
Hey, man, we're all just here having a laugh. Like,
Feature store? Yeah, I fucking shop there. All right. How'd you know we still have cassettes? you know?
if like I like your explanation, I couldn't. I think unfortunately, me building up in my own mind what was going on and how it was being portrayed, I probably lost little cues throughout like that. I usually don't do that, but like I
Well,
said,
but
I
I
think.
understand because it does. It starts so strong that you're just like, all right, I'm fucking listening,
Yeah, I was, and then I kind of those slow moments really threw me off the trail, and I don't want to say I lost interest, but it just kind of it was more deflating than anything.
Yeah.
So that's why I was just like, well, I'm kind of I started switching gears where I was just like, well, what's this? What's this? Why this? Okay. Instead of
Yeah.
trying to enjoy it for what it was trying to do. So
Yeah. And the weird thing is, it was Weekend at Bernie's that really made me go, okay, she's still in the 80s.
yeah,
Because,
unless you're just a fucking, I mean,
well, because
that
then
you
I
don't.
started looking at the horror movies that were, because it was like this, this weird little love note to horror movies. Like, obviously, there's
Yeah.
some nods to Blade Runner in there and stuff
Hmm.
like that. But, like, it doesn't go further than the 80s with its I feel like it doesn't go further than the 80s with its music or its film, uh what the fucking word am I looking for
Well,
here?
it's an homage, right?
Influences. Yeah, it
Yeah.
doesn't go any further than the 80s with its film influences. It's like it stops almost at like 89 with Terminator. It's just like, no, like, or with Weekend at Bernie's, sorry.
Well, then there's the Night of the Living Dead clip. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of nods to those influences, which is fine because it's it's all good.
Yeah.
It's just I'm just kind of curious, like it was that on point, or are you completely off? I kind
Yeah,
of
I don't
lean
know.
towards what you're saying, but I just didn't understand the vampire teeth or the canines or what was that supposed to represent.
Well, it's like that. The way I kind of took that scene, yeah, to go back to that. So when she reads that message, she's just like, "Oh shit!" She realizes she's fucking dreaming, and now she can make the world whatever she wants. And so she wants to be this image of the man she just kind of loved and killed. And he envisioned her as this fucking like dope vampire. So and again, that's very 80s. It was very like Lost Boys type moment. I felt like with her fucking Keith Sutherland fucking hair, and then the teeth, and I don't know. I mean, that's what I got from it, was just like it wasn't that she's been a vampire this whole time. It was just more of that she realized she had control over the world she was in. And so she
Okay.
became this cool image that he presented to her of like, I see you as this cool fucking 80s vampire chick. And she was just like, I'm the cool fucking 80s vampire chick now.
All
Give me
right.
some cool glasses, But I don't know. Could I, and I am 100%, if I'm completely wrong, I am just really fucking completely wrong. But that was my
Hey man,
interpretation.
you shoot your shot, right? Like
I'm
if
shooting
that's
my shot
and
down
the
there.
movie does do that. The movie's just like, hey man, it's kind of what you want it to be. If it's this, it's this. It's kind of it does its homages and it. I don't know if there's even an exact answer for it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So, like I said, I pitched my thing of her being a vessel and stuff like that, and I did notice the '80s homages to those. I mean, which is great. I love all that stuff as well. So,
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with that. I just think it might be tough to recommend unless you're remotely interested. Anytime there's horror and sleep and that kind of stuff, that vulnerability of being asleep and the scary and the things that can happen to you, of that, you're not in control of your dreams, or are you, or am I physically could be, attacked, assaulted, scary, and that I'm interested in stuff like that. I think it's something that we all experience. It's a very spooky equalizer. We all got to sleep. We're all vulnerable, so I like stuff like that. So that's why I was drawn to this, and it stood out. And it's directed really well. It's put together really well. It's just some of the pacing issues personally for me do make it a tough to recommend, unless you were kind of remotely piqued by any of the things we covered.
Yeah. I mean, for me, I'd recommend it. I mean, I don't think it's perfect by any means. Obviously I was able to make fun of it, and there is that sharp turn of like, okay, all right, I guess I'm here, I'll finish it, but damn, movie, we could have maybe done something different here.
Yeah. I think we maybe need like a middle score or something, or like it's usually a pass or check it out. I think it's more of, this one might be more of, if it piques your interest. Like it's a kind of middle of the road. If you're not into stuff like this, I can't say, hey, this is going to win you over. But if you heard something that kind of piques that interest, then yeah, check it out. So
yeah, no, you're definitely gonna have to have like some interest in horror and sci-fi, and both of them together. So
would help, yeah.
But I mean, like you said, I think it's directed very well. Yeah, there's pacing issues, but like the parts that are strong, I feel are really strong, and almost kind of that, and that's why I kind of enjoyed it, is that it kind of almost covered up those weaknesses just enough to where I was like, all right, movie, let's do this, Like even the boring hanging out of her watching her walk, where I was like, I don't need this. But then I felt it made up for it with what happened in the forest. So I was just like, all right, fine. I'll give you that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah. That's it. That's what happens when Come True plays
Dreams come true, Kevin. Haha, get it?
Oh, I got it.
Want to be a vampire. It came true.
She wanted to be Big Boss. That's what she got the eye patch. I got all of it. It's a 2020 sci-fi fantasy joint. It was an hour and 45 minutes. It was you hanging out with us being us versus movies. It's a podcast. We talk about movies. Thank you for hanging out with us. We'll do it again next time. You can check us out on all your favorite podcast providers, or you can check it out on YouTube a week later. We appreciate the time. We appreciate the click. We appreciate if you tell your friends. Dustin?
Hey. Go down there.
Down where?
Under there. I don't know. What?